Years from now, some of them may look back and ask themselves whether they've made the right choice, whether they've made the most of the opportunities they've been given. Together, we have the same mission. Over the course of your life, you will find that things are not always fair. You will find that things happen to you that you do not deserve and that are not always warranted. But you have to put your head down and fight, fight, fight. Never, ever, ever give up. Don't give in, don't back down, and never stop doing what you know is right. Nothing worth doing ever, ever, ever came easy. And the more righteous your fight, the more opposition that you will face. In your hearts are inscribed the values of service, sacrifice, and devotion. Now you must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. It is why our currency proudly declares, "In God we trust." And it's why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation under God. The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings. The next generation of American leaders never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit. Never quit. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. Carry yourself with dignity and pride. Demand the best from yourself. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward. And always have the courage to be yourself. America is better when people put their faith into action. Pray to God and follow His teachings. Today, each of you begins a new chapter as well. When your story goes from here, it will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. You will build a future where we have the courage to chase our dreams no matter what the cynics and the doubters have to say. You will have the confidence to speak the hopes in your hearts and to express the love that stirs your souls. As long as you have pride in your beliefs, courage in your convictions, and faith in God, then you will not fail. As long as America remains true to its values, loyal to its citizens, and devoted to its Creator, then our best days are yet to come. May God bless the class of 2017. May God bless the United States of America. And I just want to let you know that God blesses you. And I want to just say, you are special in every way. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
It makes no difference, I feel. Gonna slip right out from this drug that I found. Gonna follow that till I know I can't be found. Gonna follow that sound. Gonna follow that sound. Follow that sound. I'm gonna follow. I've been that gypsy girl singing. That was me playing in the rain. Something's calling out to me tonight. Saying, hey, please, I'm gonna follow that sound. Gonna follow that sound. Gonna follow that sound. What's up, Mr. Philby?
Yeah, I'll be available in a minute. I got somebody with me.
All righty. Sounds good. I will just play some music until somebody gets up here to talk to me. Oh, hi, Lucas. Hey, Kelly. I already said hi to Crow. What's up, Walter? I have another song, so don't mind if I do.
But it's alright. La Luza is on my mind. She's on my mind. Homesick, but it's alright. La Luza is on my mind. She's on my mind. I swear it's 10,000 degrees in the shade. Lord of mercy, no. Much loving. Every mosquito, every rattlesnake, every canebrake, everything. Every alligator, every black water swamp, every freshwater spring, everything. All we need is one more damn developer down a hard out. Oh, yeah. All we need is one more Mickey Mouse, another golf course, another country club, another gated community. Lord, I need her. Lord, I need her. Yeah. And she's gone away.
Oh my God, you guys don't even know how hard it is for me to not freaking bolt that out, like belt it out at the top of my lungs.
I'll pay you $1 if you do.
That's a shower singing song.
If we
Well,
need
you
some
sound good to-
Trump motivation, I put the video in the back channel. If it's
All right,
your favorite
cool.
one.
I'm excited. How are you doing today, Miss Kelly?
Not too bad. I have a very inquiring mind today. About
Oh yeah, what rabbit holes did you go down?
Well, I haven't started traveling yet. I mean, I just have my questions about the flight, this travesty that happened.
So, interestingly enough, my most current bookmark, which we're going to talk about bookmarks here in a minute, is a guy going down some holes with that one.
Oh boy.
It'll be a good jumping off place for you. All right, so should I play our lovely president? Hi, Jen. I see Jen. Oh, I thought Lucas was up here.
He's listening. I see him as a listener.
He was up here a bit ago. All right, so let me play this, and I'll get Jen up here, and we'll get started on talking about the events of the day.
Years from now, some of them may look back and ask themselves whether they've made the right choice, whether they've made the most of the opportunities they've been given. Together, we have the same mission. Over the course of your life, you will find that things are not always fair. You will find that things happen to you that you do not deserve and that are not always warranted. But you have to put your head down and fight, fight, fight. Never, ever, ever give up. Don't give in, don't back down, and never stop doing what you know is right. Nothing worth doing ever, ever, ever came easy. And the more righteous your fight, the more opposition that you will face. In your hearts are inscribed the values of service, sacrifice, and devotion. Now you must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. It is why our currency proudly declares, "In God we trust." And it's why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation under God. The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings. The next generation of American leaders. Never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit. Never quit. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. Carry yourself with dignity and pride. Demand the best from yourself. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward. And always have the courage to be yourself. America is better when people put their faith into action. Pray to God and follow his teachings. Today, each of you begins a new chapter as well. When your story goes from here, it will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. You will build a future where we have the courage to chase our dreams no matter what the cynics and the doubters have to say. You will have the confidence to speak the hopes in your heart and to express the love that stirs your soul. As long as you have pride in your beliefs, courage in your convictions, and faith in God, then you will not fail. As long as America remains true to its values, loyal to its citizens, and devoted to its creator, then our best days are yet to come. May God bless the class of 2017. May God bless the United States of America. And I just want to let you know that God blesses you. And I want to just say, you are special in every way. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Wow, I didn't know he was that God forward in 2017.
I know, right? So Brett Murphy is the one. He's one of our favorite community members. He shared that originally, and we love that video. It just gives me chills. And I did put it up in the Nest and also in the Purple Pill if anybody wants to have their own little post on it.
I mean, I feel like it's better than the freaking Rocky mantra for the morning pep talk.
Now geez, now that's in my head. Thanks.
You're welcome. Hi, Adam. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Past Pleasant.
Hey, Kim.
What's
Hey,
up?
Kelly.
How are we
Building.
doing?
Real good. I'm cooking. I'll be sitting down with my food in just a second, but my hands are going to be wet for a second.
Gotcha. So, Adam, what did you think of that little spiel there?
I can't really give much feedback because I just joined the end of it.
So that's Trump's, like,
Let's be honest.
I think it was West Point graduation speech, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing that I just love about, like, the messages that and just what he's been doing for the last 10 days, I feel like he's going to make us all be better, like a better version of ourselves, because the amount, like, just the level of work that he's doing, and it's kind of giving us all a directive as well.
And you know what I'll say about these hearings? I just want to make a quick statement is, it's quite a bit of exposure to these people, and like highlighting who are the bad guys, who are the pundits for big pharma, and the representatives for big pharma, not we the people, and who are the people that represent the military industrial complex or the CIA, what's it called, the operations, what were they called? Colonel Towner goes over them. Regardless, these operations that they run overseas in different areas, different regions, to go take resources in the name of fighting communism, right? And then they're the ones that initially pushing out this. Oh, fat finger. It's okay.
Twice.
That was a glitch. I didn't touch it again. That was totally a glitch. And I don't know how I fat fingered it because I don't have another person up here doing anything.
Yeah, its spaces are crazy. I'm telling you.
Yes.
But yeah, just what she highlighted, and who we were funding over there with our tax dollars, overseas, people to overthrow the Assad regime, essentially, and people that are, terrorist factions, essentially. So, yeah, it's been seeing all these hearings and people going through them has been actually an exposure for a lot of people, which is good in many manners. I saw Chris waving his hand like a madman.
Yeah, I sent him a co-host, but that's not working out. Or maybe he got it. I don't know.
She highlighted Project Sycamore. I forgot what it was, the full name of it. Timberwolf Sycamore, I believe, which is just the Arab Spring, I think, uprising in Syria. That what they had done there in that regard, CIA wise. So a lot of exposure going on, and it's lovely. People need to know the truth.
What I want to know is, what happens when, what happens as a Democrat who's watching these hearings and watching just the total clownery that's coming from that side and the ineptitude. What does it? Is it? They're going in with preconceived notions that they don't like the Republican senators, and so therefore maybe they see it differently, because maybe I'm biased, but to me it seems like Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert, Bobby Kennedy, Pam Bondi, I mean, you name it, all of them have schooled these senators and made them just look like total, the dumb douchebags that they are.
Sellouts. They make them look like sellout trash, and what they are.
I just finished. Well, I just finished Kash Patel's. I haven't heard Tulsi's.
Yeah, no, I just finished. I watched Tulsi's live, and then I just finished watching Kash's. So I didn't get to see Robert Kennedy's today. So I'll be interested to hear if anything new came out of that. But I will say this: if you're not kind of seeing that President Trump is putting in people to help the American people, and who are going into this job with that in mind. I mean, I think that it is night and day difference than what we experienced over the last 4 years. And I'm just wondering whether or not that leftist mindset is seeing that, or if they're just too blinded by TDS.
Oh, I think they're probably blind to it. They're buying the wah supposed judicial background that these Democratic senators, yes or no question. It's the biggest joke in the world, but it's incredibly ineffective. Like from Bobby Kennedy to his sort of calm reason. I missed Pam Bondi. I'm definitely gonna go watch in the wake of Kash Patel's. I'm really excited to listen to Tulsi's, which I'm going to do tonight. But Kash Patel and Bobby Kennedy, like, they're not participating in the charade. And whenever they push back on the charade of some of these questions, it collapses. And then you see the histrionics of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and a lot of these other Democratic senators, as they throw a hissy fit because they have no power. There's it's a beautiful thing to see. If they really care that much, they can cut the funding to some of these candidates, and I bet they'll just do the job anyway. So, and that would save us some money.
There's no stopping us, Lucas. There's no stopping us, man.
We're going to get sick of winning. I can't wait for that.
Never.
Never. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Oh, man.
No, I think we're going to see at least John Fetterman. I think we're going to see other Democratic senators who run to the populist, to the Maha side. I think that's going to happen sooner or later because they want to be part of the winning movement.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's like that you can't not see that we're on the right side, no pun intended. But like these people that President Trump is appointing are going in there with the American people as their number one. Like they work for us. They're bringing that back. They're bringing back, the constitutionality of how our government is supposed to work.
And the best example of it, Kim, is that two of them are Democrats, Bobby and Tulsi, and we back them. So it's got to be like a mind melt for them. Like, hold on, these people are former Democrats. Here you have Democrats, lambasting them, attempting to lambast them, but essentially getting the spotlight blown up on themselves. Essentially, with like you referenced, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, they got their financials put out there after they tried to go after Bobby for like, oh, you make money off of suing big pharma. Well, somebody's got to make a living, and you're making 10% on a case that's kind of like pro bono, most likely work. I would think that's usually how it works when you settle a case or whatever. The attorneys get money, all this money goes through. I'm like, yeah, you got to make a living to survive. So to try to like point that out at him, but where they're sitting there, they're already getting paid at their job, right? And getting paid to represent we the people, but they're not representing we the people. But also on top of their regular salary, they're making, they're coming out millionaires. And then not to mention they get special benefits, health insurance that we don't get as we the people. So they're like a class of their own that they think they're special, and they're losing a handle on that because it's eat or be eaten right now. And people like Fetterman may come over to our side and vote on our side, which I appreciate. I won't because what he's supported in the past, I wouldn't hand him a Republican seat or something like that, but regardless, it's appreciated, because they see the trend, and the trend is America first and get the fuck out of the way. Excuse my language.
We like language here. I won't say. I wish some of these witnesses would then they would get in trouble because of the propriety of the Senate and all that. But I do like the authenticity of some of their responses. The thread that I've taken from Kash Patel and Bobby Kennedy was a phrase that I really like. Bobby said, radical transparency. And I just finished the Kash Patel, so it's fresh on my mind. But as they kept asking him for this transcript from the case against Trump for the declassification of those files, and he kept saying, we'll get the transcript, I was reminded of all of the stonewalling from the Justice Department and the Republicans asking for the transcript that Joe Biden had given for for the documents that were found in his garage. So
When
I
they
wanted the
declared him
transcripts and-
incompetent for standing trial, and yet he was still running the country.
But
Evil.
he's competent enough to sign pardons, right? And all that good stuff, though.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Well, you know, the problem with these hearings, all of them, and you know, if you've spent any time at all watching hearings, and I've been watching hearings for too many decades, I think probably I'm not going to say the first, but you know, one of the hearings that I remember is Judge Bork, John Tower, Clarence Thomas. You know, this is going way back. This is the Reagan era. And, you know, these people were really taken to the, you know, to the woodshed by these senators. And, you know, Clarence Thomas referred to it as a high-tech lynching. And, you know, he was right to a large degree. And I mentioned this in Millie Weaver's space the other night, but I think that what they need to do is each side needs to get their committee counsel and come up with whatever questions they're going to have for the witnesses. And they need to decide how long the hearing is going to be, whether it's going to be an hour hearing or a 2-hour hearing, and divide the time equally. And they may want to go back and forth. So if it's a 2-hour hearing, they'll give a half hour to the majority, half hour to the minority, then, you know, go back and forth. And have the committee counsels ask the questions of whoever the nominee is. And then the committee counsel can have a colloquy that is not interrupted, not filled with vitriol, not based on something that is going to turn into a 15-second soundbite that is going to turn into a campaign ad. And if there's going to be probing, you know, for the purposes of determining whether or not somebody's qualified for an office, then they have sufficient time to be able to do that. And, you know, a 30-minute round allows you to develop that without getting into, you know, these 5-minute bites. And then, you know, people just get frustrated because nobody ever finishes anything, because half of the 5 minutes or 3/4 of the 5 minutes is pompous bullshit that is just a parade of whatever ideas that they want to try to get out there, and nobody needs to hear that. You know what people.
Chris,
want.
I love how Cash said you got 2 minutes. I caught that part today.
Yeah,
they're like, I'd love to talk to you for hours, and he's like, you got 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because, you know, somebody's got to watch the clock, but you know, and at least in that kind of environment, you know, the people who are at the hearing actually get to hear responses from the witnesses, and so do the American people, and so too do the people who are going to vote because they're going to either go back and watch the hearing, or they're going to go back and they're going to look at the transcripts. And it's going to be based on something other than grandstanding. It's going to be based on something other than trying to catch a witness in some kind of perjury trap, which is ridiculous. And a nominee is either qualified or they're not qualified, and that the committee has a choice. They can be voted out of the committee with a positive recommendation. They can be voted out of the committee with no recommendation, or they can be voted out of the committee with a negative recommendation. And then, even if it's negative recommendation, it's up to the entire Senate to decide whether or not they're going to vote to pass that nominee. The committee is just an investigative body, and they give a recommendation. They're not the final word.
They sure do spend a lot of time bloviating.
And so when you eliminate the bullshit, and you have professional questioners, not in the form of a prosecution, but in the form of
Inquiry?
doing an inquiry, an investigation to determine, okay, this is what people on my side want to know. So I'm going to go through this in a cogent way and try to determine, try to get the answers for these people. And, you can get a lot of answers in a half an hour or an hour. You can get a half an hour, then there's a break because the other people were going to ask, and then come back, and then you got another half an hour. And we'll get to you in just a minute, Reg. But, basically, when you were finished with the Finance Committee on Monday, everybody walked away from that hearing with two things. They had a bad taste in their mouth, and they didn't want to watch another hearing because everybody there, especially on the Democratic side, acted like a bunch of asses. I mean, it was a waste of time. The whole thing was just a waste of time.
Well, definitely they speak way more than the witnesses speak. And I think that that's ridiculous, because the whole point of those hearings is for the American people to be exposed to them on a, more intimate level, and get to know them, not only their history, but their views and their beliefs and their policies. So I do think that these senators really do a disservice to us.
Looks like we got Courage and Jennifer in the room. I wonder if they want to come up.
I sent them an invite. They'll come up when they want.
Yeah. So you got
okay, cool.
His hand
Just
up
want to let you know.
So let's we're definitely not going to ignore them, especially on a Thursday night, because what happens after dark.
I can't wait. I'm going to my first Courage After Dark if they're having it tonight.
They had it last night. You got to check it out. It's so good.
I'm going to go back and watch it or listen to it then.
Anything Jennifer does after dark is got to be.
And if you guys noticed, they had it last night, and then I streamed today. We played it, streamed to all our platforms. So, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
I was playing that in the space earlier.
Go ahead, Reg. Let's see what you got.
Not nothing much, just an acknowledgement of what the commander, like I said, was going to do. And I see familiar MAGA followers and faces in here. I told them years ago, a couple of years, I said, I stand on what I said. I said, you guys going to be in Guantanamo Bay. He's going to start getting all these suckers up out of here, all these drug addicts, fentanyl. It's going to remove them. I've been telling people, because what happens in the urban communities, we knew to stand behind Trump. Once we got Brian Donaldson crowned Brooklyn, you see BD, that's why I tell people, pay attention to the people that's not saying too much, that's just smiling and know what the business is. We're about business this time, man. Firms, new way of systems, lumber companies, guys are opening up lumber companies, guys are talking about cleanup crews. Jobs is opening because Trump is cleaning house. So it's a lot of jobs open. And I'll land with this. Shout out to the U.S. figure skating team, because one of the ladies that was on the plane on this little thing, she lost her life, man. I think we have to respect that. These people, it's negligence, like Trump said, too much negligence in our aviation systems because of these so-called diverse elite programs that's just putting people in position unqualified, just there to do a job because you don't want to train. You don't want to put money in the training. You don't want to put money in the training schools, aviation schools. We just cut a pilot program in Los Angeles for kids to start having aviation training in the communities. They thought the urban cities didn't want this, and we loved it. These kids want to fly, whether we believe in space or not. Put them in the plane. They'll figure some things out. Jet fighters, we need more of that. So everything is happening, seguation into guys that's going to be the next firemen, because you got guys that's working in prison camps out here, cleaning up, fighting fire, side by side with law enforcement and National Guards. It's a beautiful day in LA. And so sometimes out of turbulence come a brighter day. So shout out to the Commander-in-Chief. I wish he opened up another one. Open up Lompoc, get and put landmines by the fucking border. And I'll land with that. Y'all be safe, man. I'm back down and listen.
Well, it's nice to hear from you, Reg. And, you know, I couldn't agree with you more. And I was saying when I first started the space was, you know, this President Trump makes us be better. Like, he's working so hard that I at least have had the feeling over the last 10 days of, okay, well, he's working hard. I need to work hard. You know, I need to like do better.
Absolutely. And I'll land with this.
He makes us better and we make him better.
And to add this, Adam, real fast, and I'll drop back down. It's a perfect time to continue to raise awareness. This is what these apps and these spaces for. We counteract, because they're going to always use the mogul media to try to say this and that. But being down here with the real people and the real voice, we're making it being heard. So we have the power to stop a lot of psyops. The man is not racist. I'm done with that crap. I tell black and white people, get over that. This man loves us and we love him. This guy's our guy. He's apprentice. He's apex. He's tough with the black community. Been enriched with us. Don King's his part. I could go on and on of his friends, but I'll land with that. So a lot of people that's 27, so-called woke, they see one way. These kids don't know. 27, I was already living 3 lives at that age. So let's understand that these children are not being educated because they got these devices. We come up watching so-called television where these images for Generation X will come back, where we can see through these things. We passed the matrix. When in our land, video killed the radio star. Now digital platforms has killed the video star. So our land, you guys have a blessed one.
Well, we have our fearless leader up here as co-host, and we can't.
I think you caught the text message. She might be busy at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to say, Politidoxy, Fire PFP, gave you a follow just for the PFP alone.
Well, you did a very smart thing by following me, because you already know me by a different name.
Oh,
Dude,
that,
you knew it was,
I should have known by the
name. How did you not know that was Aaron?
Oh, I didn't see Aaron in front of it, but you know that PFP got you a follow, Aaron. You didn't even have to say a word.
Yeah, I've, since being I mean, it's only been a week, but being banned, suspended again. I think I'm gonna come back at a certain point, but till that happens, I've been doing pretty good on Instagram. So, whatever happens, happens. I don't really care one way or the other at this point. I'm sick and tired. So I'm just going on Instagram. I've been doing very well. This week alone, I got almost 1 million views. I think by Friday I'm getting 1 million views on everything I've posted. So yeah, we're doing pretty well on Instagram.
As long as you always just come back and check in with us, man. We're family, so
yes, absolutely.
Always want to hear from you, brother, and know that you're doing well.
Well, we're still going to have your space on Sundays whenever you are ready. But I think we should do it in the community for you because your account was just so locked up. The community actually shields it some, and that's why we were able to get bigger rooms for you. So we'll talk about that.
Sure, and the text will, if you have any suggestions, no problem whatsoever. But I must say, the algorithm on Instagram has been pretty good to me. I mean, I haven't posted that much, but from what I did, 2 of my videos got right now, both of them combined are at 800,000 views, thousands of likes. So, I tried here on Twitter. The algorithm hates me. The algorithm on Instagram loves me, apparently. So that's just is how it is.
Is it a new account?
No, an old account on Instagram that I started posting now about 10 videos a day because I heard that is, that gives you more exposure. So that's what I've been doing. And 2 of the videos really got picked up, and both of them have a combined viewership of 800,000. That means each has an average of 400,000 views, and it's still growing. So I'm doing very well on Instagram. So, when I've complained about the algorithm up here, I've got people telling me that, oh, maybe your content sucks. Well, that's a possibility. It is possible, but then you'll have to answer, why does Instagram love it, but Twitter doesn't? It's clearly because there's still shadow banning happening, and now I'm suspended. So, but don't worry. I think I'll be back at a certain point. I'm going to appeal this until I come back.
It really concerns me that they're still suspending people's accounts for speech. I know that your content is passionate, but you've never been inappropriate or, done anything that warrants a account suspension. So
Kim, let's be real. You saw those 2 old posts that Dustin pinned to the top of the space that were from Donald Trump. I think somebody else found the other one. But when you like it, I reposted those both that day, and I had to go back and like those posts again and again and again and again. It kept on unliking them for me. And you see those Donald Trump posts from back then are still tainted. So there's still a ghost in the machine. And I replied to one of the posts. I'm like, at engineering Elon X, you still got a ghost in the machine, obviously. Because I've reliked this post like 1 million times and never unliked it. So there's a lot of the framework of this platform that we're on is dirty.
Well, and I do think that Linda Yaccarino's whole freedom of reach thing is a problem.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on the freedom of reach thing. On Instagram, for instance, I said I posted something that went against Instagram's guidelines, I guess, and so they took away my live stream thing. But guess what? They did not take away my freedom of reach. So that's cool. Okay, you want to punish me? Okay, fine. But to what degree? And Instagram has been pretty good to me. Okay, you're going to punish me. I can't do live streams. Okay, fair enough. But my posts are still getting likes and views. So you know what? I can't complain that much. But yeah, the freedom of reach thing is all BS. People should be allowed to say whatever they have to say, especially, things that I said.
It's just another form of controlling speech because if you should be able to reach everyone that follows you. If they follow you, they followed you for a reason. So why are you being suppressed from people that follow you? That just doesn't make any sense to me, and that is a form of censorship.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But listen, we've gone off the subject of what's going really on here about the hearings and everything. I'll just give you my opinion on the hearings. Sorry, I can't actually give you an opinion on the hearings per se because I haven't been listening into the hearings yet. There are some videos that I'm going to be watching, but I haven't yet. As of now, I haven't. All I'm going to say is it's beautiful to watch the deportations, counter going up and up and up. It's a beautiful sight to see.
I second that one for sure. When you go to watch the hearings, put it on 2 times speed. It will make it much more interesting. It's a lot of the same, January 6th, insurrectionists, his pardons. It's like, really? We're past that. We don't think that it was an insurrection. We want to hear what he has to say about how he's going to help get rid of the terrorists that are going to try and kill us and our families. Don't care about January 6th at this point. I mean, we care about our J6ers, but that's not what this is about. This is about someone who's going to lead the FBI. This is about someone who's going to lead the Office of Intelligence. I mean, why? Why do they do that?
And what I wanted to say earlier to what Chris was talking about, I want people going into these positions to be held to task, of course, give them the hard questions. But, at this point, you're just giving them questions as far as the Democrats, the hardcore Democrats, the uniparty Democrats, let's call them. They are just burying themselves with stupid questions that backfire on them, essentially. And, here we disseminate it on X and break it down for people and show them how hypocritical their questions are, like with the Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders getting money from, big pharma and people putting out the receipts, so it's glorious in many ways, and I do want to see people going into important positions to be asked the hard questions, of course, but it gets to a point where it's just ridiculous with the way they go about it, of course.
It really shows that people that they don't respect our time, because these hearings should not take 4 or 5 hours. And like Mr. Philby was saying, they should be a timed amount, and they shouldn't be repeating the same questions just so they can get their sound bites, and they can and they should not be talking for most of it. It should be questions, and then let the person who we are trying to figure out if they're going to do a good job or not, let them talk.
Yeah, and Adam, I don't disagree with you in that, pointing out that these people are hypocrites and dipshits and whatever. But the problem is that, in a lot of our spaces, we're kind of preaching to the choir. In a way, I mean, if we're doing some outreach, then yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But most of the spaces that we're doing, people already agree with that, and if you had a news media that was being intellectually honest, they would look at these people on the dais and say, she asked this question, and he asked this question, and she asked this question, and he asked this question, and it was all the same question that had nothing to do with anything with regard to this hearing.
Chris, do you know why that is? It's because the media hates you and the media hates us, and it has contempt for us. So to say if they were intellectually honest, they will never be intellectually honest. They hate us. They really do.
Well, that's true. So, Lucas, what do you got?
Philby, I totally agree with you. The hearings are a waste of everybody's time and a ridiculous theater that we all engage in. I was just wondering, and I got distracted here looking through the internets, but why do we even have confirmation hearings? If they don't want to pay for to me, I hate that it obfuscates the powers of the different branches of government. And if the president wants to hire somebody that wants to work without pay, that's what happens with recess appointments. What's the true power of Congress? Like we let them perform for the American people as if this is a judicial process or any finding of truth. It's not. It's gives them a chance to perform and draws our eye away from what they should be doing, which is funding the things that are important and not funding things that aren't. So,
Well,
I don't know if we could live without confirmation hearings, but I think they are a waste in every respect.
Well, it's supposed to be about advice and consent. It's not supposed to be about, how many gotcha moments, are we gonna have? Yeah, it's, I'm not interested in what Pete Buttigieg does. Not, I'm sad now that I can actually pronounce his name, but I'm not interested in whether he adopts a child, that he's married to another man, or that whatever he does in his bedroom, or the wallpaper he decides to hang in his house. I don't care. Can he do the job? And
I think one of the points of these meetings, Chris, sorry to interrupt you again, is that it really highlights that the way these people behave. I'm from the UK and I'm deeply, deeply cynical. And one of the things I found about Americans is that they are the nicest people in the earth, but they're very naive. I always found them to be extremely naive. They're so giving and they're so helpful and giving and nice. And so I think there's like a cynicism that normal Americans are getting, and it's coming from just being able to see from all different outlets the way these people behave, and hopefully that will stop them being exploited, because that's what I think is happening.
Oh, we've been exploited for decades, but that's all ending now.
Well, they got a serious issue in the UK at the moment with the.
We have several deep issues, which is why I'm so cynical at such a young age.
You got a Tory party over there that's just out of control. It's interesting, to see TikTok videos of people that don't want to pay their TV tax, but when folks make a post to Facebook, and you have two policemen show up at their door, and they're not sure whether or not they're going to return home.
Yeah, we don't have the First Amendment here, and if you make a post on Facebook, you can go to jail. But if you burn down a house with people in it, or if you rape a child, usually you get off.
Well,
you can get a slap on the wrist.
That they allowed for this. I mean, when the
do you know why? Do you know why you can go to jail for posting on Facebook? Do you know why? Because they hate us. Because our government hate us. They hate English people.
They're afraid of the truth is the number one thing. But when they joined the EU, they left themselves very smartly. They left themselves an escape route, because they kept the pound sterling as their currency. Nobody else did that. They all went with the euro as their currency. Now, you could still spend a euro in the UK, but the UK maintained its own currency. And that was done because they knew it was inevitable that they were going to leave. But the problem was they failed to not they failed to not agree to this open border thing, and what that got them was a situation not unlike our own, where you have this massive influx of people who are in the UK now, and you know, these are not crown citizens. These are people who came as so-called refugees, and the entire character of the UK has changed. I mean, you know, you had people come to the UK from the Indian subcontinent. You had people come to the UK from Africa. You have people come to the UK from Canada, from Australia, from the West Indies, from all sorts of different places around the world, and you had a very mixed culture in the UK. And you know, it was not like the UK was a lily white community, but because crown citizens came from all over the world. So you know, when you had your first Indian prime minister, that was not a shock to the world, and he was not a bad prime minister. You know, he was the chancellor of the exchequer, so which is, you know, not an unusual jumping off point to become prime minister. And it's ridiculous that I have this much knowledge about UK politics.
I was just going to say, what's going on there? You've been watching the BBC or something?
Well, you know, I've got friends in the UK, and I, you know, keep up with a little bit, but you know, like France, which is on the continent, the entire country of France has lost its French culture because it's been invaded by people who don't want to be French. And you have invaders into the UK, people who do not want to be British.
But that's the whole point, Chris. That's the whole point of the immigration system. A system is what it does. The point of a system is what it does. The whole point is to destroy the country. Yeah. They hate us. The immigrants who come here, people say you're against immigration. I say, no, I'll be happy for white Americans to come here. I'll be happy for white South Africans or white Germans. Why? Why is it strictly Pakistanis, Indians, Somalis, Afghans, Turks, and Eritreans? Why are we only getting those? Why don't we get white people come? And it's because they hate us and they want to destroy us.
We have an immigration system here in the United States. It's one of the most generous immigration systems in the world. We take billions of people from countries all over the world every year. Okay, we have an unbelievable mix of culture here in the United States. Our problem is that we stop demanding assimilation here.
I mean, the problem is that you don't take the immigrants that you always took. You know, for the 90% of the life of America, the immigrants have been white Europeans. It's only the last 10% where the immigrants are from the Middle East, from Africa, and from South Central America. So that's the demographic change. That's the point.
But I mean, it's not really an issue that we're taking people from different countries here, as long as they're they immigrate and become part of our culture.
But Chris, that's a rub. That's a point. That's the whole point of this. They don't.
But we have Asians here, okay?
Who are very distinctly Asian. They eat Asian food. They speak Asian languages. They have Asian culture. So what do you mean by assimilate?
Well, it's assimilation into our country means that you speak our language, and
yes,
and that you are loyal to our country. That
but you know they're not loyal in the slightest. I have a Korean friend from California, and at the turn of a hat, if the US went to war, he would just go to Korea. They're not loyal at all, and he speaks Korean. He eats
Ben,
Korean food.
Let Mr. Philby get out his points. Okay, please stop interrupting him.
But you know, I have said in these spaces many times that we have problems in this country where we have pockets of immigration, where we have communities that have, and we have a Spanish community that have their own TV stations, they have their own radio shows, radio broadcasts, they have their own newspapers, they have their own shopping, and they segregate themselves. The Korean communities have a very similar setup. You know, we took a mass migration of Somalians that have embedded themselves in the upper north central United States, that apparently have done much the same, although they seem to be more willing to, you know, become U.S. citizens in a way that some of these other people aren't, because they don't have the wherewithal to be able to do the sort of things that these other communities have. And then you've got a large contingent of Middle East people that are in